Hello, and welcome to episode 154 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
We have a lot to talk about today. I'll tell you what's coming up. Here's what's coming up in today's show. In our Noteworthy segment, we'll tell you about one of our favorite vegan chefs and her journey from Harvard Law to YouTube.
Our main topic is about a giant dairy facility being built by Ohio State University. We can't help but ask, what's up with that?
Yeah, what is up with that? But before we get into all that, let's talk a little bit about what we've been up to. We had some exciting stuff happen this weekend.
We sure did.
Yeah, where were we?
We were at the 2024 Rochester VegFest.
That's right.
Yes.
I almost forgot.
No, you didn't.
I did not forget. Yeah, we were at the 2024 Rochester VegFest. It was a beautiful day.
It was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, there were tons of great vendors, wonderful people. So many great people came to our booth. We did manage to get our hands on some food. It was very busy, so
yes,
we didn't have a whole lot of time to mess around.
No, not so much.
But I will tell you some of the things that we got. We got some baked goods. We got a spicy hot chocolate cookie from Simply Love Bakery,
which was just delightful. We shared this cookie, and it was nice and rich, very dark chocolate forward.
Right.
So this was not, your standard milk chocolate cookie. This was a deeper, darker chocolate.
Yeah.
And it also had just a wonderful hit of spice underneath it.
Oh, it had a chili kick.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did. And what else did we get? Oh, we got from our favorites over there at Fat Cat Baking from Syracuse, we got a lemon basil scone. We got tiramisu macaron. We got a chocolate chip cookie and a cherry limeade.
Yes.
And everything from Fat Cat is
always fabulous.
To die for.
Always fabulous. It was so great to revisit the lemon basil scone, which was something that we first meant to try at the Syracuse VegFest 2 years ago.
Right.
But we ended up leaving our scones in our Airbnb.
It was so sad.
Yes. And so Megan and Alex, the beautiful people at Fat Cat, were so sweet. They sent us lemon basil scones so we could try them.
Yeah, they heard through the grapevine that we left our stuff in our Airbnb, and they actually sent us replacement scones.
Yes, so it was so fantastic to revisit that. The chocolate chip cookie also was just fantastic. Beautiful texture, loads of chocolate.
Yeah, it was really chocolate forward.
Super chocolate forward. I love it when the cookie is almost completely chips.
Right. Less cookie than chips.
Right. Yeah. I really do love it when that happens.
I got a little bit of cookie on my chocolate chips.
Yeah. But the texture and the flavor, just absolutely spot on.
Really
Not
good.
at all a surprise.
Really good. Megan knows what she's doing.
She absolutely does. And I'm always just completely floored. Anytime we're around Fat Cat and there are macarons to be had, they're an absolute necessity. Macarons are challenging enough to make in their original form, which of course is predominantly egg white.
Yeah.
And I've tried to make them a couple of times pre-veganism, and I was unsuccessful.
Yeah.
The flavors were fine, but the texture just wasn't quite right, and I didn't get the perfect feet on them that you're supposed to get.
Yeah, they're not easy.
No, they're not easy. Many a baker would name macarons as kind of an Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Because they're really hard. But Megan has just perfected them. And
She's cracked the code.
Perfected the vegan version of them, which I just find so impressive.
You would never know they're vegan.
No,
you would never know they're not made with egg white.
You wouldn't.
They are fantastic. She makes them in some of the most creative flavors.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, we can go on and on about it. We could do a whole show on Fat Cat baking.
And you know what? Someday maybe we will.
We could. But let's move on. For lunch,
okay,
we had from our friends at Grass Fed Rochester.
Yes.
We had their banh mi, which was called the All Banh Mi Self.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I didn't realize that was the name of it. That's so funny.
And we had their salami sandwich, which they call their Take on Salami.
Yes.
And we've had the Take on Salami before. We know it's a fantastic sandwich. So I got that for Sam, and I got for myself the banh mi. And it was, first of all, huge. It was like 2 sandwiches in one.
It really was.
It was beautiful. It was a tofu banh mi. It had, I'm going to tell you what was on it, because I actually took a picture of their menu so I could tell you all of the fantastic things on this banh mi. Actually, I'll tell you what's on both sandwiches, because if you're ever in Rochester, you need to stop at Grass Fed and grab yourself something to eat. So on the banh mi, it's grilled lemongrass and coriander marinated tofu, cilantro, cucumber, jalapeno, pickled daikon and carrot, liquid aminos, vegan mayo, and scallion ginger oil.
Wow.
You should have had some of it.
I should have. Christine did offer me a bite, but I was, occupied with my take on salami. So I was like, no, I'm good. That's fine. And I didn't wind up taking a bite of it. And now I wish I had.
It took me the better part of the afternoon to eat it because, in between people coming to our booth and everything. And it was such a big sandwich. It was so good. I was sad when it was gone. The take on salami is seitan salami with diaprovolone, red onion, tomato, and lettuce with oil and vinegar on a stirato roll.
So good.
It's a classic.
And one of the things I have to give Grass-Fed huge props for is that they have made me willing to investigate flavors and quote unquote meats that I stayed completely away from pre-veganism.
Yeah, pre-veganism, here I am, this Italian in my family. We always had salami and prosciutto and all kinds of lunch meats in the house because it's just kind of an Italian thing. And Sam was never really into any of that. So we just never bought it.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
Like the only like pork-based sliced meat that I was ever even remotely interested in was pepperoni.
Right, pepperoni.
And that's really an only on pizzas thing or on a very rare sandwich kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so all of these other flavors I just had never really gotten into.
Yeah.
But it's like now that I know that I'm not actually consuming an animal, it's making me so much more willing to actually investigate those a little bit more. And I absolutely love the take on salami.
And Grass-Fed's vegan meats the flavors are spot on, but talking about pepperoni, that sent me back to on our way to VegFest. I'm gonna take a step back for a minute and talk about where we stopped for dinner the night before, because we did stay over Friday night before VegFest, so we didn't have to get up at the crack of dawn to drive. But so we went to Squatcho's Pizza.
We sure did,
and got a pizza which had grass-fed pepperoni on it. Also got an order of their wings with boss sauce.
Yes,
which is something apparently it's a Rochester thing. And it's completely new to me. Loved it.
Yes, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of spicy, kind of tangy. It's completely different from, it's not like a buffalo. It's completely different from anything I've ever had.
No, it's sweet and it's sassy and it's tangy and it's just really, really wonderful. I'm all about the boss sauce. And that was a new thing for me as well. But the pizza was so good.
Really good.
Really good. Okay, number one, I appreciated the crust, which was very thin.
Thin and fresh. They're hand tossing the dough to order.
Yep.
They don't pre-make their crust or anything. They're hand tossing the dough to order, and it was fabulous. Big crispy bubbles on the end. I love it when that happens. So perfect. Yeah, thin but not too thin.
Right.
You could still hang on to it, and it was exquisite.
And we got a whole range of toppings on the pizza. Like Chris said, we had some grass-fed pepperoni. We also got some chicken on there, some vegan chicken, and then all kinds of vegetables. We had olives and peppers and onions and spinach and
it was like the garden. So
it was.
We basically threw a garden on there and then added the pepperoni and their vegan chicken.
Basically.
And it was really good.
So good.
So don't miss out on Squatcho's if you're ever in the Rochester area.
No, do not.
Yeah.
They are fantastic.
Yeah. And shout out to AK who took care of us there at Squatcho's. Yeah. Thank you so much for helping us through the menu and all that jazz. That was fun.
Indeed it was.
Anyway, back to VegFest.
Okay.
So that's what we had at Grass-Fed for lunch. And then we did get some other sweets. We got a chocolate peanut butter cupcake from Holly Cake House.
And I was so happy that we did that because a couple of years ago, we did a trip to Rochester to see a concert. And we had dinner at Red Fern, which we loved. And initially, we had thought that we would get to Holly Cake House as well to get some cupcakes because the whole trip was surrounding my birthday.
Right.
You know, and with a birthday, you know, cake should happen. And but we didn't make it to Holly Cake House. And so I'm really thrilled that we finally got to taste their cake.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this was a wonderful cupcake. Okay. Again, just the fact that it was a reasonable cupcake size.
It was normal cupcake size.
Yes. So it wasn't huge.
It wasn't muffin size.
It was not muffin size, which was really appreciated.
No
so
offense to the people making muffin sized cupcakes.
Oh,
but,
no.
You know, we had already had a few sweets. So
yes. So we were very glad that, you know, we could kind of share this as a 4-biter.
Yeah.
And so that was really great. The cake was moist and fluffy and really rich. The buttercream, the peanut butter buttercream, was smooth and flavorful, and the texture was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it was yummy.
And it was drizzled with just a little bit of chocolate syrup on the top. And so just absolutely fantastic.
And then topped with half of a vegan peanut butter cup,
Which I allowed Christine to have.
which I got. Bonus. Bonus. But there were many other booths that we didn't get a chance to see because we were very busy. But talk about busy. Sunshine Vegan Eats from Buffalo.
Oh my God.
They had a line across the field from the moment the place opened till they were shutting down.
Yes. Yes. So got to send out some serious props to Nikki and the crew at Sunshine Vegan Eats. Oh my God, did you have a day?
They were working it.
They
boy.
were working it.
Yeah.
And it was so good to see, you know, one of our local favorites.
Yeah.
You know, kind of being the star of the show when
They
it
were.
came to food
That
day.
They were. There was a Future Food booth there, and they're a national touring vegan food company. And there were more people at the Sunshine Vegan Eats, which, you know, nothing against Future Food, but it makes me happy when I see more people at a local, you know, hometown owned restaurant. So, yeah, I can't even imagine how much food they brought.
I can't either because I didn't hear of anything being sold out.
No.
I didn't hear anybody complaining that there was nothing left.
No.
So they must have brought just an unbelievable amount of food with them.
Yeah, and they had 2 tents. They had like a serving tent and a prep tent. They have the system down for sure, you know.
Yeah,
because the line was moving along. But it just never went away.
It never went away.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was just nuts.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was just so good to see that happening. I think part of that was the fact that Rochester is close enough to Buffalo that I'll bet a lot of people have heard of Sunshine Vegan Eats, but maybe haven't necessarily been there yet.
Well, it's like us and Squatchos.
Yeah,
like
totally.
We've known about Squatchos, you know, for years, and a couple of times we'd been to Rochester and they weren't open. Like we crossed paths, you know, we were 2 ships in the night or whatever. And then we finally got to them. So it's the same kind of situation. You hear about restaurants, but you're not in the general area all the time. So you don't always have an opportunity to stop and eat. So yeah, I'm sure that's why they were so busy, because everybody knows about them.
Right.
And now has an opportunity to try their food, or maybe they've tried it in the past and they're like, yes.
Yeah.
You know, because their food is really good.
Yes,
you know,
it is.
Some vegan soul food, good stuff. Really good
Indeed.
stuff.
So,
and something for everybody.
Yep. So
on
just
their
congratulations to the Sunshine Vegan Eats crew. It was a heck of a day for you.
Yeah, there were lots of advocacy booths, which I always love seeing, you know, Rochester People for Animal Rights. And I mean, there were just many advocacy booths, which is always good. There was, I think it was the Rochester Vegan Association. I'm not exactly sure what they call themselves. They had a cute little thing set up, like kind of like the kissing booth on the Peanuts, you know, or and it said, ask a vegan. And they had people manning that throughout the day so people could go up and ask questions.
That's great.
Cool thing about where it was, Parcel 5, which is right in downtown Rochester. It's an open park. So there's all kinds of, you know, walking traffic. And so a lot of people, you know, not vegans, just kind of wandering in, because there wasn't like a designated entrance or anything. You could just wander onto the grass and see what was going on. So there were a lot of people there just kind of checking things out and finding out about what a Veg Fest is all about, which is always cool.
That's great.
Want to give a shout out to the people at the Herbivore Next Door booth. They have a vegan t-shirt company. They also do marketing for vegan businesses. Anyway, they printed off a ton of vegan t-shirts that just say, I love New York, and it's got their little bunny logo on it. They're really cute. They wanted to make sure that everybody in our area, in the New York area, knows that they still have a ton of those shirts, and they have them available on their website at herbivorenextdoor.com.
Awesome.
So I told them I would, spread the word.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We should probably get ourselves some of those t-shirts.
Yeah, we should. They're out of Indiana, and they have been traveling around doing the Veg Fest scene this summer and said they've been having a really good time with it.
Awesome.
Yeah. What else? Anything else you want to say about the Rochester Veg Fest?
Well, two things. Okay. Number one, we witnessed something that I have never seen before in my life. And this is drone-based window washing.
Oh, the drone-based window washing. Yeah.
Yes.
That was bizarre.
At first, we were kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But after watching it for a few minutes,
we reconsidered.
The
cool factor.
We reconsidered the cool factor because of a couple of things. Okay, number one, the drone was really noisy.
Super noisy. It was like, I don't know, it was like there was a swarm of bees above our head for a long time.
Yes, for most of the afternoon.
Yeah.
And as the swarm got closer and closer to our booth, the sound became more and more oppressive. So we've got that noise pollution thing going on.
Yeah.
Also, if we're talking about pollution, all of the dirty, soapy water coming down off of the windows just splashes onto the sidewalk below.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they were reclaiming it in any way that I could see anyway.
Right, me either. And so that, of course, brings into question the amount of water they're using, because this drone was just spraying water constantly.
Yeah, it was like a fire hose spraying water on the buildings.
Right, for several hours.
Yeah.
So it feels to me like a really wasteful use of water.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, have any of you out there seen this before? Because like I said, this is our first
There were some people,
encounter.
There were some people from Rochester that were like, yeah, we've seen that. But there were a couple of people that I asked that were from Rochester, but don't get downtown unless they're working. And I guess this is something that happens on the weekends.
Okay.
And they've never seen it before.
Right.
And so they also thought at first it was really cool, and then thought, wow, it's really noisy and annoying. And there is a third downside to all of this, is that they're taking jobs. There could be a crew of 3 or 4 people up on a scaffolding cleaning those windows instead of one guy with a drone.
Right.
Yep,
absolutely.
So it's progress, I guess.
I guess, it's just one of those moments where you have to wonder if progress really is.
Right. Like, because if that happened on on a larger scale, first of all, the sound would be so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It would be so oppressive, you wouldn't want to be anywhere in the area. And then do we really want drones flying over our heads everywhere? I know Amazon at one point, and maybe they do in certain areas, drop packages using drones. I really just don't want to see drones flying over my head everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't excite me either.
It's slightly disturbing.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because
they're not autonomous. There's somebody on the other end of that. And
of course.
And they have cameras on them and stuff. It's just a little creepy to me.
Yeah, I agree. But on a lighter note, I also want to mention the fact that we got lucky and won one of the raffle baskets.
We did.
At the Rochester VegFest. And I'm absolutely floored that this happened because I only bought 2 raffle tickets.
2 raffle tickets. $5, right?
Yes. $5.
Yeah. And she put my name and phone number on them. So I went up to the booth and I dropped one in a bag of Trader Joe stuff. And I dropped another one in, I don't know, another basket of treats or something. And lo and behold, we won the Trader Joe bag.
So great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we get this shopping bag, this reusable shopping bag full of Trader Joe's stuff.
Yeah.
We got everything from pasta and sauce to nutritional yeast.
It was packed full.
Some cookies and some chips.
It was a good $45 to $50
easily
worth of Trader Joe's stuff.
Easily.
Yeah, so thanks for that. That was great.
Now, unfortunately, the sunflower butter cups melted into nothing.
Did they?
Like, I opened them yesterday and there was like nothing left in there. It was bizarre. I don't know how they so completely disappeared, but there was nothing edible left in the bag.
I could feel, I'm like, if these aren't individually wrapped, because it felt like there was just a big clump at the bottom of the
There
bag.
was a big clump, but the clump was like of papers, very
really
vaguely held together by something that used to be chocolate and peanut butter.
Well, they sat in like 82-degree weather all day. So
yeah, and it actually felt warmer than that because, again, even though this park was, nice and open, no shade whatsoever.
Yeah, there was plenty of man-made shade. They had tents everywhere.
Yeah, they did have some tents up,
Yeah.
but, not a lot of shady trees. And so particularly towards the end of the day, the sun just felt really, really hot.
It was
But then
strong.
again, that's coming from me, one of the most melanin challenged
Yeah.
people on the planet.
Yeah,
so.
the Irish girl was not happy by the end of the day.
By the end of the
because
day,
of
it
the
was
sun.
tough.
Yeah, because of the sun.
Yeah, the sun and I just don't get along.
Yeah. But for most of the day, it was fine. We had our tent, and like I said, they had plenty of tents. They had a tent set up where they were doing demonstrations.
Mm-hmm.
They had another very large tent set up for speakers and stuff like that. And there was plenty of room in those tents if you just needed to get out of the sun and sit. They had plenty of chairs and places for people to sit. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was a really great event. We had a wonderful time and we're really looking forward to going back next year.
Yeah, and I just wanted to shout out a couple of people that stopped by the booth and signed our mailing list.
Go for it.
Yeah. So thank you, Paige, who stopped by. We had listener Jay stop by and told us he was a pickle on the Pod Squad.
Woohoo!
And he got himself a free sticker.
Yes, he did.
We had Renee stopped by. Ashley. Penny came by to say hi. Marie. Joni, MJ, Brooke, and Devone.
Nice.
Or Devone. I could be mispronouncing that. But thank you to everybody, not only these people that signed our mailing list, but thank you to everybody that stopped by the booth. We had some great conversations, and it was a really good time.
It really was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great day.
We had a lot of fun. Oh, there was one thing I wanted to address regarding last week's episode. So last week, if you heard our episode, we did a piece on PETA. And should we or should we not be supporting PETA as a advocacy organization?
Right.
And I got a text through our text thing that you can text us through. Now,
Our text thing that you can text us through.
I know I hope I'm not being too technical for people. And that is anonymous. So I don't have a name for the person that texted us, but they did text us and say, hello, I just finished listening to your podcast on the topic of PETA. There are other reasons to hate them besides the well-known ones that were mentioned in the Vox article. Ingrid Newark's commitment to the animals is the opposite of absolute. She and PETA are complicit in one of the main messages it supposedly is against, speciesism. They are against all animal abuse except for the Asian dog and cat meat trade. It is a mind-boggling fact that in all of its history, PETA never fought against this industry in any capacity, including but not limited to protests, producing literature, videos, fundraising, awareness campaigns, interviews, etc. The subject is non-existent as far as they are concerned. To me, that is a grave injustice and downright criminal. Considering how influential they are, if PETA got involved, even in the slightest, it would go a long way towards helping end that atrocity. Millions of dogs and cats are physically and psychologically tortured over long periods of time before they are brutally killed. It's not just about different cultures eating different animals. It's the way in which these animals are killed. The belief is that the more the animals suffer, the more adrenaline that is released to make the meat taste better. It is the most vile, diabolical tragedy in the world, and the biggest animal welfare organization does absolutely nothing about it. So after I got that, because this was news to me, I did a little research. And while I couldn't find any current campaigns being held by the PETA organization.
Right.
Yes, so I did find many articles on PETA's website. Now you have to dig because they're not super current. Regarding the dog meat trade in China. This one comes from June of 2019. There's an article on their website. Every year in Yulin, China, thousands of dogs and even a few cats are barbarically slaughtered for a summer solstice gathering, and their flesh is sold as food. The article goes on to condemn the practice. They describe the practice and condemn it. And there are related posts like this. Now, it would take more research on my part to find out if they did any physical advocacy
right
against this, but they do have many articles on their website where they are condemning the practice. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're ignoring the fact that it exists.
They're just perhaps not being as visible about it as they could be.
I guess not. Yeah, I guess not. And I want to thank whoever texted us that information for making us aware that PETA is not super vocal about the dog and cat meat trade in other countries, because I would never have known, that whether they were or not for, against, or even ever mentioning that. And it would be speciesist if they, if they just chalked it up to another culture, which, while it is another culture's belief, the practices are indeed heinous. So,
yes.
So I just wanted to address that, because we got that text, and then somebody else I saw posted on our Facebook page something about dogs and euthanasia and PETA, and that's something I haven't had a chance to look into yet.
So we'll definitely dig into that as well.
Yeah. And thank you, anybody because that's what, I want people to respond to things, right?
Absolutely.
So that, we have all the information, that we're not just, blindly following PETA. If there are things where where they're falling short, I would really like to know that. So thanks for sending that text to us, whoever it was. So let's just jump into our Noteworthy section. In this week's Noteworthy section, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite vegan chefs, Nisha Vora. And there's a nice article about her. It's From Law Books to Cookbooks, Nisha Vora's Vegan Journey.
As Christine said, Nisha is one of her favorite vegan chefs. Her YouTube and cooking blog, Rainbow Plant Life, are fabulous resources for anyone wanting to cook vegan food. And there are some videos that feature her parents, and they are just awesome.
Her parents are really entertaining. They're funny. Her mother especially. They're hilarious.
This article is coming from Harvard Magazine. It was written by Claire Zulke and will be published in their September-October 2024 issue. For her first vegan cookbook, published in 2019, Nisha Vora JD had 5.5 months to develop, test, and photograph all the recipes. After she cultivated a following on the vegan cooking blog Rainbow Plant Life, Penguin Random House contacted Vora, asking her to create a book of vegan Instant Pot recipes fast. I was like, me? Do you have the right email? Says Vora, who left a legal career in 2016 to focus on vegan food writing and recipe development. While proud of her first book, Vora says it's not necessarily a Nisha book. By comparison, her new cookbook, Big Vegan Flavor, which comes out in September, took 2.5 years to finalize. I wanted the opportunity to be as meticulous as I could be. I wanted to be able to deliver only recipes where I'm like, this is a 10 out of 10. Vora perfected the recipes at home in San Diego, hiring a recipe tester to help with prep, cleanup, and fine-tuning. If we looked at each other like, wow, Vora says, then we cracked the code. She takes seriously the challenge of making vegan recipes good, not just good for vegan. So she investigated methods of flavoring old standby plant-based ingredients. With her sticky coconut milk braised tofu, for example, Vora wanted to offer a dish as delicious as fried crispy tofu, but with a twist. I had a Chinese takeout dish that was some sort of braised tofu, and I was like, this is fantastic. It's chewy, and it's meaty, and it's savory, and I somehow like it possibly more than crispy tofu. She researched the Chinese technique for frying and braising tofu, so the full-bodied coconut, ginger, garlic, lemongrass, and soy sauce seep in, creating a deeply flavorful protein. And I have to say, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does. And there's a picture. It looks pretty good.
It does. Many of Vora's recipes are based on sentimental favorites, like a buttermilk fried mushroom she says is popular with chicken-loving non-vegans, and a spicy noodle stir-fry with salt and pepper tofu inspired by the flavors from a Chinese restaurant. She does not claim to provide culturally authentic recipes, but she researches regional techniques and ingredients. When I develop a recipe from a different culture, I like to know the roles that certain ingredients play. And I like to know what the common cooking techniques are so that I can deliver a respectful interpretation that's not totally watered down. Accordingly, she describes a crispy lentil dish of hers as Indian-ish. Vora's first true cooking teachers were Food Network personalities like the Barefoot Contessa and Alton Brown, and she began cooking for herself at 14. Her parents had emigrated to New Jersey from Mumbai in 1982, so her father could build his medical career. After hearing that doctors were needed in the small desert town of Barstow, California, her parents moved there with Nisha and her sister, sight unseen, with little money, and started what is now a 25-year-old family practice. As she grew up, no longer a small-town teenager anxious to assimilate, Nisha wanted to connect more meaningfully with her Indian ancestry by watching her mother cook. The only problem was, her mother didn't use measuring cups or spoons, relying instead on intuition.
Sounds like my mother.
That is antithetical to how I cook and how I have to cook to develop precise recipes, Vora says. But watching her, asking her questions, her knowledge over the last 40 years of cooking as a home cook has helped inform how I understand ingredients and how they fit together. Most of her Indian recipes, for example, start with toasting a combination of whole spices in oil, then adding aromatics like onions until they're softened and golden, followed by garlic, green chilies and ginger, and finally, some combination of ground spices, a layering technique Vora learned from her mother. Big Vegan Flavor offers information on food prep, ingredients, and recommendations for making the most of the book's 150 recipes. I wanted to provide a comprehensive approach to mastering vegan cooking, to equip readers with the tools and the techniques and the tricks and tips that I use to whip up dinner on a Wednesday night, even if you're not following the specific recipe, Vora says. She says that the key to spreading the word of vegan options is showing, not telling. I'm going to show you how delicious plant-based food can be without being like, you're a bad person if you're not vegan. Nobody wants to hear that. My goal is to get people to eat more plant-based food, even if they don't ultimately become vegans. Vora attended college at the University of California, Berkeley, majoring in political science and legal studies, before proceeding to Harvard Law in 2009. She never lost her love for food, though, and remembers bonding with law school classmates at monthly potluck meetups. Every time I made something, and I'm not saying this to brag, everyone was like, "Wow, how did you make this?" I remember just feeling so happy when I would share food with others. In 2016, she became a practicing vegan, inspired by documentaries about factory farming. After law school, she moved to New York City, but her jobs at a big law firm and a smaller nonprofit, in which she represented low-income tenants in housing court, left her professionally unhappy. And after a few years, she left the field. But she says some lessons from Harvard Law still apply to her work today, especially writing and analytic skills, but also her rigorous and meticulous approach to food. When I was developing a chocolate chip recipe, I did a mountain of research on ingredient ratios in non-vegan chocolate chip cookies, the percentage of butter, the percentage of fat, the percentage of eggs, so that I could come up with a recipe that tastes just as delicious and is just as chewy and has crispy edges like a regular chocolate chip cookie. I bring this super analytical lens that I think comes from having that background as a law student and as a lawyer.
And you should definitely check out Nisha's YouTube, Rainbow Plant Life. Mm-hmm. She is quirky and goofy and fun. Her videos are like, they're aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
They're not over the top. They're not like Pickup Limes where
Pickup Limes.
Their aesthetic
I love Pickup Limes.
Is just so perfect.
You know what? Pickup Limes is like the YouTube version of Chickpea Magazine.
Yeah. Oh, Chickpea Magazine was another vendor. They vended next to us at Rochester VegFest.
And if you're looking for a spectacular vegan magazine,
yeah.
look no further
Oh, yeah.
than Chickpea. It's gorgeous.
Her photos are gorgeous. Anywho, Nisha's YouTube is so fun to watch.
Nice.
And you will definitely learn how to make the recipes that she's cooking on her channel. She's very thorough about teaching you what she's doing, showing you what she's doing. But like I said, she's also quirky and will drop things and will spill things and is just fun and makes fun of herself. And she's just really super entertaining. And like I said before, the videos where her parents join her and they taste her recipes, especially when she makes like an Indian recipe, she'll have her parents taste it. They're hilarious.
Nice.
Their reactions are they're great. They're really sweet. So
I love that.
Yeah. So check out she's one of my favorite chefs to watch. So check out her YouTube. And she also has a wonderful food blog and of course her cookbooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually don't have
We don't, but I'm going to...
Nisha's cookbook.
We don't, but I'm going to link to it in the show notes, and maybe we'll get a copy for ourselves, and you can
I think we need to.
try her new book, because it sounds good.
Number one, you love her. Number two, it's 150 recipes, and she says that they're all a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So we need to try this out.
Yeah, we do. So again, this Rainbow Plant Life on YouTube. Check her out. It's time for our main topic. In this week's main topic, we're going to be talking about how Ohio State University is opening an enormous dairy facility under the guise of education.
This is coming to us as of August 6th, 2024, and we're getting this information from osu.edu. Ohio State advancing animal agriculture with new Waterman dairy.
Now, let's preface this with this article is pro this happening.
Yes.
But I wanted to inform everybody that this is happening.
The Waterman Agricultural and Natural Resources Laboratory in Columbus will soon be home to the Ohio State University College of Food, Agricultural, and Environmental Sciences' new state-of-the-art dairy facility, replacing the outdated 1972 structure demolished in March. We're making exciting progress, said Graham Cochran, CFAES Associate Dean for Operations. Construction will start soon with an anticipated completion in spring 2025. The project will bring a modern, small-scale, fully autonomous dairy to the CFAES Columbus campus, supporting our work for years to come. The new dairy, located on the site of the previous dairy at Waterman as part of the 261-acre lab.
A small facility. Only 261 acres.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't sound like much.
Yeah.
Will be equipped with leading-edge technology from Lilly North America. The three components that will showcase modern animal agricultural technology include a robotic milking system, feeding robot and automated feed kitchen, and manure management robots, said John Lemmerman, longtime manager of the dairy herd. This technology will greatly enhance cow comfort.
Oh, God.
As well as the learning, research, and outreach impact of the dairy, and will support the Jersey herd, which was temporarily relocated to the CFAES Worcester campus in preparation for the new dairy. The new dairy can house 60 Jersey milking cows, all with access to the milking robot.
So not only are they now being totally exploited, they're not even getting any affection or hands-on.
Yeah, nothing human.
No human interaction.
At all.
They're just hooking them up to machines like they are themselves a part of a machine.
Yes. Yes.
But according to them, it's going to greatly enhance their comfort.
I can't imagine how that's possible. The newly constructed Waterman Dairy will provide state-of-the-art technology and accommodations to enhance the college's academic and research programs, said Maurice Eastridge, professor and senior associate chair of animal sciences. It will be a tremendous asset to our outreach programs to the community and agricultural industry to focus on food production systems. It is also geographically positioned to highlight the importance of agriculture and innovation just off Lane Avenue at the primary entrance to the Columbus campus.
And I would agree that we do need innovation in our food system, but not this kind of innovation.
No, I think this misses the mark.
Yeah.
According to Scott Higgins, Chief Executive Officer of both the American Dairy Association Mideast and the Ohio Dairy Producers Association, the project is important to the dairy industry in Ohio. On behalf of the dairy farmers I represent, it is exciting to see this investment in a modern dairy that will impact the student experience and tell the story of dairy farming and milk products through public engagement, he said. The new Waterman Dairy, along with the Multi-Species Animal Learning Center now under construction, will raise the bar for CFAES teaching, research, and public engagement with animal agriculture.
All I see this doing is further separating the students from the animal, therefore making it much easier for them to disassociate the end product with a living, breathing, sentient being, right?
Yes, I completely agree.
Yeah.
And I have to wonder, the Multi-Species Animal Learning Center?
Yeah, that's animal testing.
It really is.
Yeah, that's what animal testing is called.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, I'm going to raise an eyebrow at that as well. Initially, CFAES is planning to install one new robotic milker with the ability to add a second milking robot in the future. Space will be designated for the future installation of an on-site milk processing facility.
Yeah, so they're actually going to be producing and selling milk out of Ohio State University.
That certainly sounds like what is going to be happening, yes. A feeding robot and automated feed kitchen will autonomously feed the animals. The barn is also designed with curtains, fans, and a misting system controlled by thermostats to keep fresh air moving through the barn and maintaining a more constant cool temperature. 2 robotic manure vacuums will move through the barn, keeping alleys clean and reducing water usage.
Yeah, so these cows are basically part of a machine. And they'll have little to no human interaction. They'll have little to no proof that anybody cares about what's happening to them. Nobody will be showing them any sort of affection or empathy. This is not the future.
Right. So while their climate-controlled lives might be a shade more comfortable than those of their factory-farmed compatriots who are in like open barns,
right,
and who are subject to both heat and cold,
right,
on a regular basis. I can see where that might be a step in the right direction. However,
yeah,
again, that distancing of people from the process of creation, I think, as you've said, really does turn the idea of the cow into a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
We also
keep supercomputers and other machines in environmentally stable facilities.
Wow, was that a really good example?
Yeah, I mean that's basically what this is, right?
Yes.
They're just turning the animal into a part of the milk making machine.
That was amazing. Thank you. Light bulb just went off in my head. That was amazing.
Wow.
Go you.
Hey, thanks.
With the latest technologies being installed on Ohio dairy farms, this new dairy facility will provide more opportunities for hands-on experiences that prepare students for careers in the industry, said Jason Hartsook, a field specialist in dairy management and precision livestock for Ohio State University Extension. Now, I have to ask, will this hands-on experience be manning the manure vacuums? Or
yeah, I think it'll probably be more learning how to maintain the machinery
than actually dealing with the cows
than
themselves.
dealing with the animals themselves, yeah.
The new facility will allow students to be ready for a career in the dairy industry in all sectors, from farm management to sales and service, Hartshuk said. It will assist with workforce development, as we'll also be able to use the technologies in this facility as training tools for dairy producers and their employees. Also at Waterman, construction of the new multi-species animal learning center is underway.
Okay, before you even read this, trigger warning, this really makes me mad.
Okay. With a projected opening in fall 2025, the MALC will be a world-class facility where people and animals can interact, fostering education not only for Ohio State students, but also for K through 12 students and individuals of all ages, expanding the visibility of advances in animal agriculture to the next generation of students.
So basically, a publicly funded petting zoo. It's basically a humane washing area where they can bring in youth and show them all the animals, the very well-kept animals that are going to be fed into the agriculture system so that they'll be, ready to be recruited into the system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I agree. It's disturbing. With the addition of both the MALC and dairy, new modern animal facilities serving all major animal agriculture species will now be accessible at Waterman.
Yeah. I think what disturbs me the most about this, I understand that universities do have programs for agriculture.
Yes.
Especially in highly agricultural areas, right? But that this is state monies going into this. So here's another case of our tax dollars. If you live in Ohio, your tax dollars
are paying for this.
Are paying to train people to turn cows into machines.
Yes.
So if you live in Ohio and you have a problem with this, not that this is anything new. Ohio State, like the article says, this is a replacement facility for a facility that they had before.
Correct.
But if you live in Ohio and if you're anywhere near Ohio State and you have a problem with this, I would recommend, writing the president of the university and expressing your concerns.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
At the very least.
At the very least.
Yeah.
Yes. What bothers me about it as well is certainly the fact that public money is being used to fund this, because of course Ohio State is a state institution, is also that within the Department of Agricultural Sciences, let's say, there seems to be an interest in modernizing the technology that goes into long-standing agricultural practices without really looking at whether those practices should be maintained in the first place.
Right. Why are we modernizing these practices instead of looking for different ways to do it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Why not look for an alternative? Okay, we know that the dairy industry is cruel. We know that there are incredible amounts of surplus milk and surplus cheese sitting in government warehouses that basically get thrown out each year.
Yeah. Or they get turned into milk powder.
Or they get turned into milk powder.
They're exported.
Yes, exactly. And so there's already too much of these products being made.
Yeah, not to mention the damage to our planet, our environment, our water, our air, and the most important problem, the animals.
Yes.
That are put through this system.
Yes. So, I would feel much, much better if Ohio State, instead of just modernizing already outdated and barbaric practices, was instead looking at a new way forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we have it.
Yeah. Instead of running a publicly funded dairy operation that is in the end going to profit the university because they will be selling the milk or perhaps selling the milk on campus.
Way. We don't know about that for sure because
they're going to be producing milk. What are they going to be doing with it all?
Yes, I don't know.
I would imagine it's either going to be sold in their food service areas on campus or sold to local grocery stores or
Hard
something.
to say. Not sure about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is truly unfortunate.
Yeah, it's disturbing. And that's just one state university. I'm sure there are hundreds of state-run
gosh.
universities with similar programs,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in even larger agricultural states.
You know what? I want to do some research into that.
Okay.
I really do. So you know what? I'm going to take that on and I'll report back on that next week.
Okay.
All right.
I'll look forward to your findings.
Thank you very much.
And with that, let's talk about this week's assignment, Restaurant SOS. This week's restaurant is Soulfully Vegan.
Ben Revere nominated Soulfully Vegan as one of his favorite vegan eateries. Located at 1240 Farmington Avenue in Berlin, Connecticut, they're open from 11 to 8, Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 9, Friday and Saturday, and they are closed Sunday and Monday. Soulfully Vegan combines great taste with healthy plant-based food served with soulful flair. Founders Allison and Calvin left their corporate jobs to give back to their community in a meaningful way.
Yes, and this is a woman-owned and Black-owned business there in Berlin, Connecticut.
Amen.
You want to take a look at their menu?
I would love to.
Let's.
They are also current nominees for the Connecticut Restaurant Association Awards, otherwise known as the Crazies. So if you go to their website, you can vote for them.
Vote for them for a crazy.
I think is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, who wouldn't want to win an award that's called a Crazy?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Their website is beautiful. It's a very well put together website.
Oh, yes, it is. Very nice.
Beautiful photos of all the food. This is definitely vegan comfort / junk food.
Oh, yeah. Like, we are looking at burgers of all kinds. We've got fries of all kinds, hot dogs and brats of all kinds.
Wait a minute. Spicy PB&J burger? That's interesting.
That is interesting.
It looks like a PB&J on a burger with jalapeno peppers and maybe some sort of chili jam. Oh no, that's the regular jam.
Yeah, it's peanut butter, cheese, grape jelly, and jalapenos.
Wow, that's an interesting combination of flavors.
I don't know that in particular would be for me.
I bet it's really good. I bet it's really good because it would create this almost like sweet and sour thing. Sweet and sour and spicy with the pepper and the grape jelly. I think it's a fantastic combination of flavors.
The one that's calling to me right now is the Soulful Burger, which is lettuce, tomato, cheese, sweet plantains, and jerk sauce.
Yeah, that looks good.
I think that just sounds awesome.
The burgers are also all like piled high with ingredients.
They really are.
These are like two-fisters.
Yes.
You know.
For sure.
This is the type of burger where you pick it up, don't ever put it down. Just keep hanging on to that thing until it's gone.
The Blue Flame Burger also, I think now reading the ingredients, this might be the one I would go for.
Oh, okay. What's that?
It's lettuce, tomato, buffalo sauce, cheese, blue cheese, and pickles.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right up your alley.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
What's on the big boy burger?
I don't know.
I just like it's the big boy. Buckle up for the big boy vegan burger. A flavorful explosion that won't leave you missing a thing. We're talking a juicy plant-based patty stacked high with crispy vegan bacon. Seriously, you won't believe it's not the real deal. Then comes the all-star crew, crisp lettuce, a vine-ripened tomato slice, melty vegan cheese, tangy pickles, and perfectly caramelized grilled onions. To tie it all together, a creamy house-made mayo sauce drizzled on a toasted bun. This ain't your average veggie burger. It's a symphony of textures and tastes that'll have your taste buds doing a happy dance.
Awesome.
No fainting because this burger is that good.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds awesome as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you are in the Berlin, Connecticut area and you are looking for a fabulous burger, it seems to me like Soulfully Vegan is the place to go.
Yeah, they have tons of fries. They have tons of different loaded fries that you can get. They have a whole hot dog menu, big dog, cheese dog, chili cheese dog. And they even have salads. They have a grilled chicken salad, a fried chicken salad. Yeah, this looks good.
It really does.
Oh, they have milkshakes? They have chocolate milkshake,
We
Oreo
have-
crunch milkshake, strawberry milkshakes.
We have yet to have a vegan milkshake.
I know, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
It's because anytime we're at a restaurant that has milkshakes, we're always too full to order one.
It's true.
You have to go there for the milkshake
Yeah.
and not fill up on food first.
Yeah, we're going to have to work on that.
Yeah. They also have a food truck
Nice.
that goes along with their restaurant, and you can follow their food truck schedule right on their website. So yeah, that's Soulfully Vegan in Berlin, Connecticut. If you're ever in that area, please do check them out and support them all you can. I want to thank Ben Revere for nominating Soulfully Vegan as one of his favorite vegan eateries. And if you have a favorite vegan eatery, please do pass it along. Let us know what you like to order there, where they are, and why you love them. It's time for our favorite portion of the show.
Must be listener shout out time.
It's listener shout out.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
Now, here's the thing, friends. We're actually out of shout outs.
We are.
And so this week, for the first time in podcast history, or at least in our podcast history, we would like to shout out our niece, Lucy,
We would.
as she regularly listens to the show and offers her feedback. She's also our favorite, albeit only, studio guest. So, Lucy Kenny, thank you for listening.
We know your t-shirt size. And,
Yes, we do.
And we know where you live. So
We do. So guess what? We're going to send you a CNC swag bag.
We're going to send you a CNC swag bag, and in that CNC swag bag will be all the things you left behind when you were staying here.
Yep. So that's really great. That kind of, dispenses two birds with one scone, or feeds two birds with one scone.
Yes, we're not dispensing of any birds.
No. There will be no dispensing of birds. But yeah.
And if you would like a listener shout out, what do you got to do?
All you have to do is text, email, or DM us. Let us know what you think of the show and tell us a little bit about yourself. You can also nominate someone else for a shout out. So this does not need to be a self-interested thing.
It does not.
It doesn't. You can be generous with your shout outs.
You can.
And don't forget, a shout out enters you into our Mies and Chef Knife giveaway later this year.
Yeah, so if you would like a free t-shirt, some stickers, some buttons, and a chance to win a really great chef's knife, please send us your information so we can shout you out.
Yes.
That takes us to our Vegan Org of the Week. This week's Vegan Org of the Week is Food and Water Watch.
With more than 2 million supporters, Food and Water Watch fights for sustainable food, clean water, and a livable climate for all of us. They protect people from the corporations and other destructive economic interests that put profit ahead of everything else. They provide resources and actions to help work towards banning factory farming, to protect safe drinking water, and so much more. To find out more about their work, go to foodandwaterwatch.org.
Yeah, we definitely need organizations that are going to protect people from corporations and other destructive economic interests.
Do we ever?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely check out foodandwaterwatch.org. They're a wonderful organization. And it is, believe it or not, time to wrap this baby up. Time has just flown by.
As it does.
Yeah. Hey, just a few calls to action for you. Send us your favorite vegan recipes. Send us show ideas. Let us know you listen. Like I said before, send us your information so we can shout you out. We just want to know you're out there. Also, please join the Agriculture Fairness Alliance's Vegan Voter Hub. We always put the link in the show notes, so click the link and join the Voter Hub. And don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app and subscribe to our YouTube. Leave us a rating and a review.
And with that, it's time to sign off. You have just listened to episode 154 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, and there's nothing left to say but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion on the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
We do. Bye-bye.
E. The end.
If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, well, you can do that by hopping on over to our Patreon page and becoming a patron. We have all the recipes from our vegan kitchen series up there, and we'll be adding some patron-only episodes in the near future. So thank you for supporting us at whatever level that you choose, and thank you again for listening to Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.